Hello there, and welcome to week 4 of our movie review series leading up to my epic adventure to Universal Studios, an epic universe in Orlando, Florida. I know that was pretty bad, but I promise it was for a good reason, because today we're going to be reviewing the 1980s Popeye movie, starring Robert Williams and Shelley Duvall. Just like last week, the movie will be rated by 5 categories, and each category will have a rating scale of 1 to 10. 50 will be the max that the movie can get, but we also have a bonus category called Special Sauce. Oh, and also, just like last week, we can't forget the time-lapse drawing inspired by the film, so be sure to stick around for that. So grab your spinach if you have some, or your popcorn, because it's Popeye time. The 1980s Popeye movie is a quirky live-action musical adaptation of the classic 1929 comic strip and cartoon called Popeye, created by E.C. Segar. The film follows Popeye, a mumbling, spinach-hating sailor, as he arrives at the seaside town of Sweet Haven, searching for his long-lost father, only to discover that the townspeople aren't exactly welcoming. They're very suspicious of strangers, and they greet him with cold stares and frosty shoulders. Popeye does eventually find somewhat of welcoming faces in the town with the Oil family, who rent him a room. It's there that he meets Olive Oyl, the tall, high-strung woman destined to be his love interest. And quickly he gets tangled up with Bluto, the town's bully, and Olive's on-again and off-again suitor. At Olive and Bluto's engagement party, Olive gets cold feet and tries to run away from Sweet Haven, only to literally bump into Popeye. While Popeye and Olive are talking on the docks, Olive's bags is switched out by a mysterious woman. When they open up the bag, instead of her belongings being inside, they discover a baby with a note asking them to take care of her son for the next 25 years. Rather than leaving the child abandoned, Popeye adopts the child and names him Sweet Pea. When they return to the engagement party, Bluto spots Popeye with Olive and the baby. This sends him into a flying jealous rage. His smashing rampage brings the party to a chaos, ending his engagement with Olive and sparking a brawl between him and Popeye. After Olive and Bluto's engagement falls apart, Olive's family is hit hard by the taxman. In an effort to help the family, Olive's brother decides to fight the boxer Oxblood Oxheart to earn some money, but he quickly is defeated. But have no fear, our hero Popeye then steps into the ring to take on Oxheart himself, and comes out victorious, finally winning the town's approval. After Popeye's boxing match, it's revealed that baby Sweet Pea has a surprising gift. He can actually predict the future. Of course, this doesn't go unnoticed by the ever-scheming J. Wellington Wimpy, who immediately takes advantage of the baby's talent to pick winners at a horse race. Unfortunately, at the horse race, Bluto discovers Sweet Pea's ability and then kidnaps Sweet Pea, leading Popeye and Olive and her family to try and rescue the baby. Along the way, Popeye discovers that his long-lost father is, in fact, the grumpy Commodore, and together they set out to rescue Sweet Pea and Olive from Bluto. In the final showdown, Popeye embraces his spinach-fueled strength and takes on Bluto for one last time, and defeats him to save the day. What I really like about this story is the subtle humor woven throughout the film. Some of the jokes are so quick and understated that if you're not paying attention, you might miss them entirely.
Nice looking first,
Another thing that I really enjoyed is how much the movie leans into the cartoon feel. How they take Popeye's first fight with Bluto. He's rolling down a hill, he spins like a top, he literally drills a hole through the dock. Some of the negative takeaways from the story that I found in this film was that there was a few plot points that seemed underdeveloped. For instance, Sweet Pea. We're introduced to him as having this special ability, but it's not really explored. The other thing is the last few musical numbers of the film don't seem to hold up as strong compared to the music at the beginning of the film. It almost feels like they're rushed, and it takes away from the build-up tension of the rescue mission. And another thing that I felt like was rushed was the final showdown between Popeye and Bluto. While it's fun, it comes across as a bit rushed and lacks the big, over-the-top energy you normally experience from one of their classic battles.
And the final verdict is...
Director Robert Altman, known for his unconventional, ensemble-driven films, brought the same approach to Popeye. Rather than simply sticking to the plot, he packed the movie with a wide range of characters from the original comic and cartoons, giving Sweet Haven a crowded, lived-in energy. I think what really makes this movie enduring, where the story may have fallen short, is the strength of the characters and the actors who play them. First, we have Robin Williams. This was his first film role, and his comedic timing, his physicality, and his total commitment to the part made him the perfect Popeye. Then there's Shelley Duvall as Olive Oyl. Her singing may not be the highlight of the film, but honestly, I can't imagine anyone else in the role. She captures Olive's look and personality so perfect that she feels like she stepped straight out of the cartoon. We also can't forget Paul L. Smith, who brought Bluto to life with his sheer size, body language, and booming presence. He really feels like the classic brutish villain. And of course, we can't forget the sporting cast deserves credit too, with their standout performances, such as Linda Hunt, Bill Irwin, Ray Walston, and so many other talented actors who added to the charm of Sweet Haven.
And the final verdict is...
While the music leans more towards a quirky and offbeat style, it perfectly matches Altman's unconventional directing style. At the time that the movie came out, critics felt that the songs slowed down the pacing of the film. But over the years, many fans have come to see them as charming and odd, fitting for the film's eccentric tone.
Pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
He would gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
The soundtrack for this movie was written by Harry Nelson, and let's be honest, it's definitely unusual, but it's also memorable. Songs like He Needs Me and I Am What I Am have since become cult favorites.
And the final verdict is...
When it comes to the visuals of this film, they might just be the strongest element. Director Robert Altman and production designer Wolf Kruger built the entire town of Sweet Haven from the ground up in Malta. Another standout in the visuals is the use of costumes and props. For example, Robin Williams wore oversized prosthetic forearms to bring Popeye's iconic muscles to life, while Shelley Duvall's natural lanky frame, paired with her quirky mannerisms and oversized shoes, made her the perfect Olive Oyl.
And the final verdict is...
When Popeye premiered, it earned $49.8 million domestically and $60 million worldwide. Critics, however, were split. Some praised it for its boldness, while others called it messy, which ultimately prevented the planned franchise from moving forward. Even with the mixed reviews, the film still marked Robin Williams' big screen debate and helped launch his legendary career that we know today. What's even more impressive is that the movie set still stands today in Malta as Popeye's Village. And while the film wasn't a massive hit at its time, it has proven that cartoons can be adapted into live-action film. It also helps keep Popeye alive as a cultural icon with a lasting place in pop culture history.
And the final verdict is... And now secret sauce time. Does this movie have what it takes to deserve secret sauce? Final score.
Thank you so much for sticking around and watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this week's movie review. It wasn't animated, which kind of threw me for a little bit of a loop, but I really enjoyed this review. If you haven't already, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, because we've got many more movie reviews coming down the line, so you don't want to miss out on that. Until next week, though, I'll catch you in the next review. Bye.
That's for you, Kai.